Bienvenidos, worldwide fans of cinema. Jaime En Fuego here with my two random buddies for another installment of Enfuegotainment. We're getting a little bit sci-fi with you guys today, so gotta extend a grande gracias to Mr. Cecil A for joining me.
What up?
Yeah, and also a familiar face now, Luis Hernandez. What up, man?
Hello.
Yeah, so we're gonna be discussing Denis Villeneuve. Villeneuve. Yeah, he is a Quebec, French-Canadian guy that directed a sci-fi film called Arrival.
There are days that define your story beyond your life. Like the day they arrived.
Signs of what might be called first contact. The objects measure at least.
I'm Colonel G.T. Weber from Army Intelligence.
Pack your bags.
You're at the top of everyone's list when it comes to translations.
Priority 1. What do they want? Where are they from? You'll be reporting to me, but you'll be working with him when you're in the show.
That's what they call in the UFO.
Who's being carted off in the medevac?
Not everyone is wired for what you're about to do.
So what do they look like?
You'll see soon enough.
Every 18 hours, a door opens up. That's where we go in.
Not to be confused with The Arrival, with which I immediately
Charlie
thought,
Sheen, backwards knees.
Oh,
I love that movie.
Netflix
Yeah.
was great though, man. So,
Very special memories attached to that movie. Shout out, Michelle.
this is a very different in-tone film. This is about aliens arriving, very similar to Independence Day, I guess. 12 different ships across the planet. And how does humanity deal with responding to this? And obviously you can think Russians are going to respond different, Chinese are going to respond different, Americans are going to respond different. So you got Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner. They are I guess she's considered a linguist or linguistic person.
Linguistics expert.
Yep, and he's a mathematician, Mr. Jeremy Renner, and so Forrest Whitaker decides to recruit the both of them, put their, massive minds together to try to decode what these aliens are trying to say and why they're here. So we always do a little bit of bueno, malo, and feo here on Enfuegotainment. I'm gonna let this man rock the first bueno because I know how much you just adored this movie, man.
I'm gonna say right off the bat, you guys, that this is my favorite movie of the year, straight up, as well as probably my favorite movie of recent years that I can recall.
I'm surprised.
I love the hell out of this movie. It's like a mixture of The Abyss with a little bit of Interstellar, with a little bit of The Mist, with definitely a good amount of Contact, with even a little bit of the most recent Brian Bertino movie, The Monster, having to do with mother-daughter sort of relationship stuff. It was a little reminiscent to me. Fuego understands what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, that movie's so good.
But this was an outstanding feature in my opinion. Now, it's one of the reasons is because one of the things that kept popping into my mind is this is what cinematic storytelling has evolved to.
Very much so.
And it's a marrying of outstanding acting, fantastic story, a pace that takes its time, and yet not so much time that any of the audience disengages.
Nope. There was no zoning off, man.
I thought a few times, I'm like,
throughout.
this might be considered a slow movie, but I cannot wait to find out what is going to happen next.
And yet the 2-hour runtime, not for everybody. We might get to that in the Malo stuff, but I mean, yes, beautifully shot, incredibly acted. Lou, you want to jump on something that you liked about it, man?
Well, I was telling Cecil earlier, it felt like everything I like about Chris Nolan films. Like the way it was shot.
Hence why I mentioned Interstellar.
Exactly, like the editing, the pacing. It was a big movie, but it was small in a weird way.
It was.
No, I agree.
Very minimalistic, but it was so epic and
very
scope.
personal. It was
personal.
one
almost
woman's
to like
story.
a tear-jerking moment.
Yeah, there was moments where I
got there.
wanted to cry.
I got there.
I was like, why is this making me feel so sad right now?
This was, in my opinion, and this is someone, I believe she's at least been nominated, if not
Amy
has
Adams,
won.
I believe she has. I'm not sure if she's actually won an Academy Award, but she's definitely.
My God, this was a powerhouse performance from her, in my opinion.
People
was
are actually
amazing.
saying favorite for
for sure, my favorite performance of the year.
Yeah, and it's all in her eyes. She has
Oh my God,
beautiful
very
eyes that-
emotive and expressive and stuff.
Villanueva's directing style comes through so beautifully because he gives the actor, like, he doesn't mind doing the shots that start right above the eyes, stop right below
It was something
the
that I
mouth.
noticed.
and it's just it brings you into their world. It personalizes the characters in such a way that other, straight on, far, medium, close up movies just don't do.
Every shot, and this is why, again, I'm going to equate it to Nolan, every shot in this movie served a purpose.
Yes.
There were no throwaway shots, like everything, even the close-ups, those like just little, the handheld stuff, those scenes were like, they might have felt slow and like in pace, and maybe some people are like, it's kind of boring, but no, there's a reason why those scenes are in there. Like, I mean, if you watch any of his other movies like Sicario and Prisoners, it's the exact same
Prisoners was amazing.
It's like, it's this epic story, almost on a small scale.
And I actually want to piggyback on that, dude, and just say that
the location was just one.
Well, it was just such an interesting contrast between these expansive, wide, beautiful shots, rolling clouds, and all this different stuff. But then to counterbalance that with these in-your-face, just personal moments, it was just balanced so well. That's a sharp, smart filmmaker on display. So
another thing I have to mention for sure is the sound design in this movie, because it wasn't necessarily the score, but it was. They manipulated the audience, not in a like over the top bad fashion, but there's an implementation of flashback. Flashback, maybe.
Yeah, and that's not going to spoil too much.
I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm not going to say. Maybe we shouldn't even mention that. Don't even mention what you're about to say, because I know what you're about to go for.
Well, that's why I cut myself.
But that's why, exactly. I'd say that in quotes. But the implementation of that, and when those moments come, the rest of the audio drops out. And then you don't even get the full audio of what is being recalled. You just get one little piece of it. Like the sound of a stone being picked up from a stream, or the sound of a couple footsteps, or the sound of laughter.
Yeah, because there wasn't really very much score in this. It was more so just interestingly placed audio effects and stuff like that.
And it's the same, like, that was one of my things about Sicario I loved. Like, there was like, he does these notes. It's not music. It's just like these
almost like little cues or something.
Yeah, and like the dude builds tone and a mood perfect. Like with everything. I like him. Like the third movie I've seen of his, and I'm like, again, just like, wow, this guy.
Well, next up, he's got the Blade Runner 2049. I think is the working title for it. So like, that's going to be intriguing.
Way excited. More so than like that it's a new Blade Runner movie. I'm excited because this guy's doing it. Like he's directing it. So.
Yeah, exciting stuff on the horizon, and this is a cool way for him to get his feet wet, and a little bit of the sci-fi territory, since he never really tackled much
not
like that,
really
at least
genre.
In the feature.
Yeah, this is almost like his first genre movie. His other movies are just like dramas.
Man, what a way to step out, though.
So
this was definitely a sci-fi drama.
It was.
It was.
I think it was a drama
smart
before it was
too.
even a sci-fi film.
Sure.
Especially with there was so much subtext about just the human
I think I know what you're going for.
You know exactly what I'm going for.
I do, because I said it and Lou was like, I couldn't think of what it was.
This and what movie, a time for this movie to come out too.
Absolutely.
Holy shit, are we talking
the unity message?
Yes. It was weird. I had the same thought where I'm like, wow, this movie and the themes and what's going on right now.
I think they very deliberately released it this week.
So the B plot was essentially a meditation on unity. The A plot, the A plot for me was the whole thing was a 2-hour meditation on the idea of 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. And there's a very up-like intro to the movie, quite frankly, and
heart-wrenching, man.
Heart-wrenching, but it sets the tone. It paints Amy Adams' character right off the bat.
As did her voiceover, which really set the tone
movie,
so well.
And that's why I think the movie I compare it most to is my favorite movie of all time is The Abyss. And there is such a message of trying to bring up humanity in this movie. And I love when filmmakers can do that in a not ham-fisted way. It's just...
It wasn't like... It was a smart film. It wasn't like, the message is unity, so we'll have scenes where people are cheering. It's like...
It wasn't
almost
that
like,
at all.
It's almost like this thing where you have to find it inside first, maybe.
It was so brilliant.
Well, I mean, there was a process to them getting to, the means to an end and figuring these solutions out and stuff.
When the message of unity is sort of presented, it's almost in a Shyamalanian twist kind of way.
Yeah, and it's not
so
in a
great.
deliberate overdoing it type way either, like you guys mentioned.
It's quite literally whispered.
The
whole message is quite literally whispered, and you're just you're like, Oh my God,
I think maybe that's why I wanted to cry. I couldn't figure out why this movie made me want to cry.
Oh my God.
Once again, balancing things so well.
Yeah.
You know, all of these different tones. There's so much going on. It's a very thought-provoking movie and well done. You know, anything bad, Malo, it's kind of tough to pinpoint. Maybe the slow, methodical approach might not be for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, for people who couldn't stand Contact and thought it was boring, you're probably not going to like this movie. If you're more so the, you know, Welcome to Earth type person.
Yes, if you're looking for
probably
that,
are
you're
not going to like
not
this
gonna get
movie.
that,
Because
yeah.
there's really no scares or anything like that. It's
action.
all, there's actually donuts for action.
Yeah.
No,
And that
action.
might be minor spoiler.
Not
guys,
only that, but the little bit of action there is off screen, and that's actually an interesting point to have. Well, for the most part.
It's
I mean,
really-
anything bad?
I can't say bad, but it's really interesting. Again, the idea of like a big scoped story, but minimalistic.
No.
You know, like you said, it's like
It
whatever
was.
action that
It
is
looked like a
happening-
big budget independent movie.
Yeah, it felt very art house, taking its time.
It's like almost
you know,
like he
ruminating.
knew what he was doing, like very planned out. You know, it's such a great movie.
And then we
It
keep
was
coming
really
back
good.
to the good. Anything bad you can think of? Probably not.
No,
For
the
Favorite
only
movie
thing,
of the
since we
last few
keep
years.
likening it back to Contact, there is sort of an analog for the Jake Busey character from Contact, the saboteur, as it were.
Now,
And
that's Gary Busey's son. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. My problem
Anyone
was
remember
that
Shasta McNasty?
that was
No, you
still
don't.
that was just as underdeveloped, I think, as it was in Contact. Maybe a little less so, but it still was that was the only thing that I saw coming.
I honestly felt like maybe
you're right. You're absolutely right.
maybe there's a deliberate nature at pulling on the heartstrings in certain ways, and that's actually
I could see
guys,
that as possible.
Guys, let's
yeah.
just get to FEO. Let's get to ugly, since there isn't really too much bad to talk about.
No.
We're actually going to spoil things now. So all of ye who come hither be forewarned. We're going to actually discuss this and dissect it. So I felt like it was very intriguing, the non-linear fashion, and the fact that they emphasized that, and then
The fact that
totally tied in with how the film was sequenced.
Yep.
Which was cool.
The aliens do not experience time as we experience it.
Even with their language.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
crazy Cthulhu-looking whatever the hell. they were,
So the
which was
aliens are
interesting.
essentially
They had a cool look to them.
septopods.
Yeah.
They call them septopods because
Hermopods or
they have
something like that.
they have 7 appendages, and that's kind of all they see through the mist at first.
Yeah.
But then this is something I wanted to ask you, Fuego, because I asked Luis and he didn't know.
No.
Do you know why when she got out of the ship at the end she was all wet?
Oh, because she was. I mean, I just thought with the air and stuff or whatever, when they kind of put her into their atmosphere or their breathing chamber or whatever, maybe it was just dense. There was moisture in the air.
That's another reason why it's so much like The Abyss. She was underwater when that happened. They're cephalopods.
Okay.
That's why they call them septopods, and that's why when they take off, they do this. They're squids. They're giant
that's
squids.
essentially what they look like.
And when she goes on, because spoilers,
why
she
they would
goes
be-
on to the ship.
Yeah, with like the oil aspect.
They
of
go
how
onto the
ink,
ship
yeah.
through the whole thing. The ink, exactly.
Yeah, it makes
They
sense.
go onto the ship and they're talking to them, but the whole time they're talking to them through a clear barrier, and we don't know why exactly. We find out because when she goes aboard the ship, her hair is moving like it's
Flows,
underwater,
yes,
and it's
true,
floating and
true,
stuff.
yeah.
And so you take note of that, and you're like, why is that happening? And then you see the things like swimming around her through the fog, as it were.
Yeah.
And then when she talks to it, it's as though her voice is underwater. It's muffled. It's
Yeah, it was like, wah, 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 wah.
yeah. And so when she gets out of it, she's literally all wet and her shoes are even squishing.
Okay.
Because she had gone underwater while aboard the ship to actually, speak to the one, which, by the way, there was
Abbott
only
and Costello.
one.
Yeah, which
That actually got me too.
That was
yeah,
kinda
and yet
sad,
that was one of
right?
the things that I was trying to figure out. I mean, was that damage from the explosion that
That's-
happened?
yeah, tell what happened.
Presumably, yeah. Well, the crazy military guys, since there's
Jake
such,
Busey.
there's
Was that
such an
Jake Busey?
argument.
No, it was.
in
I'm saying
Contact.
that's who it was in Contact. It was essentially the saboteur in this was the
Yeah.
exact same as
that
as Jake
character.
Busey from
Yeah.
Contact.
Yeah, and so since there's such a difference of opinion about how to approach these aliens, they're like, do we continue contact or do we show force and show that we mean business and that, we're not going to be pushed around or, just unnerved and stuff. And somebody puts some major explosive stuff on the ship hoping to destroy them, and they just don't even care that the 2 doctors, Amy Adams and Renner's character are both on there. Jeremy Renner, and so the cephalopods, they actually septopods, they actually save them by just hurling them out of the ship.
They change the gravity of the ship in order to do it. Like, it was so awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. That
was
the
really gravity shift when they board the ship is really visually interesting.
And the guy's like, that just happened.
I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, and you know what? The humor, it was sprinkled well enough that it worked for me. Once again, getting back to the point of
it was very good tension relieving.
Yes, it was, and
at
that's
perfect moments too. Like it wasn't like overbearing. It was like someone would say something, and they wouldn't even say it in a funny way. They just say like, that's kind of funny.
Well, it's just like a reactionary way, and isn't that what real life really is about? It's just those little moments here and there that kind of balance. I keep getting back to balance and how well balanced this film was. It was tremendous.
Well, and the big thing to just clear up what I was saying earlier, the meditation on Better to Have Loved and Lost, the movie starts off, since we're spoiling it, with Amy Adams. We basically see the fact that she had a daughter, and she got to raise her to about maybe 10 or 12 years old, and then she got some sort of
cancer,
deadly disease. Well, it wasn't. I don't think it was cancer because she still had her hair.
Well, no, I thought she was bald.
Oh, was she bald? Okay, I couldn't tell. Okay, so
it was some disease,
some debilitating disease.
But
they don't
name.
name.
Disease that they mention, where they're like, it's could spread its way around and kill everybody, and they hint at it at one point in the script.
Yeah.
Well, either way, she basically. She loses her daughter in the first 5 minutes, and so you see why she's sort of a drawn-in girl. At least you think that's what it is.
And you slowly get piece after piece about why she's so withdrawn and kind of.
But it actually turns out that the whole stuff is actually what happened before she actually had the daughter. And
so they weren't flashbacks; they were jumping ahead.
They were flash forwards, and she was getting visions because of her interactions with the aliens.
Yeah,
and the whole idea
her and Brenner end up together.
Well, no, but the whole idea is because of the movie, she has the option. She knows the pain that she went through when she lost her daughter. And she essentially, gives her the weapon. Yeah, the weapon is knowledge, essentially.
Yep, exactly. And the universal language.
The universal language. And she knows that if she proceeds and ends up with Jeremy Renner, because that's what it alludes to, that she will have the daughter, and she'll have this loving relationship, but she'll lose Jeremy Renner because she'll eventually tell him that she knows the daughter's going to die.
Yep, and he disagrees with her about that.
No, he just can't take it. Yeah. I think he can't take it, so he leaves, but he still wants to see the daughter, which is why she says he's coming this Sunday.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I love your anecdote about To Have Loved and Lost because it really
she decides to still get together with Jeremy Renner because she realizes that her time with her daughter is important enough that even though she loses her daughter, even though she's going to go through the worst pain anyone could possibly go through, the time that she gets with her daughter is worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
It's dude, that's why I did.
Emotional, man.
That's why I did. Like it all hit me.
Nikes.
It all hit me at once while watching the movie, and it overwhelmed me. That's why it's seriously one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
Well, and that bit at the end where she's talking about if you could see your entire life, what would you change, or would you change anything? And Renner's response was interesting. He was like, "I would say how I feel more often, and actually embrace your reactions to the things you're experiencing in life, as opposed to just."
He tells her. And then my favorite line in that moment was when they were like, it's like their first time hugging, and then
they flash forward, and then
I miss her. I forgot how much I liked hugging you.
Yeah, I forgot how much it. I forgot how good it was.
But it was their first time in that time, like hugging. But she had these emotions.
The script was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Beautiful.
I mean, maybe another ugly for the slightly disengaged person. It may be confusing. And there's some stuff you have to kind of wrap your head around, so you have to really pay attention.
I got lucky to catch on to everything, I think, because man, it hit me
Well, they start
hard.
to spell it out about 2/3 of the way through the film, and you're just like, okay, this is what's going on.
Yeah, they show the drawing, the daughter's drawing.
Yep, and the bird, and that's when it all clicks together, and you're like, oh my god.
For me, I think it clicked.
Mommy and Dad talking to animals, that's what she was calling it.
It clicked for me with them when she's like, it's like a science term. She goes, well, go ask your father, he's a scientist, and that's what I was
and
like.
then you're like, oh, they end up together.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
This is forward, yeah.
That's
I'm like
right.
the
Yeah.
scientist.
Yeah.
Who's a scientist that's a man in her life?
Yeah, because he totally denounces her perspective right off the bat, where
Yeah.
she's like, language is what was the quote exactly? Language is
It's the key
Language
to
is the key threat. Yeah, the key to civilization. Yeah,
He goes, no, it's science.
It's science. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she kind of proves
I actually
him wrong.
agree with Amy Adams.
And
Honestly.
that's the thing. She
But she couldn't
Gus.
completely prove him wrong because they obviously didn't end up together, and maybe the daughter's health. Well, actually, no, because they seemed like they were already split up.
I don't
by
think
the
it's
time
out of the realm of possibility that after this experience, once she loses the daughter, she goes back to Jeremy Renner and they
rekindle a bit.
Rekindle.
Well, as I often
because,
like to talk about on this show and the horror show, cause a wheel, and and life is cyclical is the point that I'm trying to make. So I mean, we can hope that happen maybe, but it's left kind of open ended and that silence, and you just sit there and you contemplate, and that amazing score with the violin and stuff comes in.
So good.
Even though it's a minimalist score when it comes in, it is ugly in the fact that it was tear inducing for me, guys.
It was. It got me too, man.
Yeah.
It got me too. Best movie of the year.
Good movie, yeah.
You heard it here first on Enfuegotainment. Cecil Laird's favorite film of the year. I gotta send the grande gracias to him for tuning into this one with me. Lou, gracias to you as well, man.
You're welcome.
Yes, that's right. De nada. And guys, you can find me, Jaime En Fuego, on all social media sectors: Twitter, Instagram, Facebizzle, YouTube. Here, like, share, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. So until next time, gracias to these gents again, and to you guys for watching. So hasta luego, sin amigos. But let's make it sooner rather than later. Porfa, gracias.